Hey, how's it going? Angela from Created It here, and I wanted to hang out with you for a second and show you how to do decrease stitches. So I don't know if you know how to do decrease stitches, but there's a couple techniques that you're going to want in your library. One is knit two together, and the other is how to purl two together. So really easy stitches to do. Once you have that in your library of knowledge, you will love having it because it's going to be something that you will use a lot. So when you decrease, what you're doing is you're making less stitches, and when you increase, you're making more. I can show you how to do that. So grab your stitches and let's get going. So here we are with my swatch right here, as you can see. This here is done in stockinette. You can see the back side is purl. So the first technique I'm going to show you is how to knit two together. And essentially what you're doing is you're taking two stitches and you're going to decrease them into one. So now you can do this at any point, any spot in your knitting. It just depends on where your pattern calls for it or where you want to decrease it. So let's say you're just knitting along. You've done some stitches here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease right here by knitting these two stitches together. And it looks like K2TOG in a pattern. So instead of knitting the next stitch as you normally would, you're going to go behind the second stitch and then grab both of these together and knit them as you would one stitch. Then yarn over and then knit them just like you would a normal stitch. And as you can see here, you can see where it decreased, where it slants right there. And that reduces your whole stitch count by one. So if we go to the very end, we will knit two together. And then I'll show you that one more time right here. So go into two stitches as you would one, yarn over, and knit that. And just like that, you've decreased two stitches into one. And you can see what that looks like right there. So now let's go to the end. Okay, so now we've come to the two last stitches on our row. So if you were to decrease here at the end of your row, it would be the same as we did before. You just wait till you get to your last two stitches, then knit them together as you would one. Boom. You just decreased. So that is how you would do a decrease on knitting stitches or stockinette stitches. So now I'm going to show you how to purl two together to decrease. Really simple stitch. On the back here you can see that these are purl stitches. So to keep everything uniform, we would want to purl two together. And as you can see, if we do that, it will keep everything uniform on the right side of the work right here. So I will purl a few stitches normally, just like you would in real life. Okay. So after I've done a few stitches here, I'm going to show you what it would be to purl two together. So now that you've come to this next section here, same thing as before. Instead of purling one, you're just going to grab two of those. So just go into two of them like you would one. Work it as a normal purl stitch. And voila, you have purled two together and decreased by one. And so we'll do that one more time. We'll do a couple stitches regularly. And then now we will purl the next two stitches together and decrease. And there you have purl two together, and that's what it looks like right there. So it's almost invisible. It might be slightly a little more thick, but not really that noticeable. These two right here are normal, and this is the one that was purled two together. So not much difference going on there. So now let me go to the very end of the row, and I will show you what it looks like to purl two together at the very last two stitches. So here we've reached our last two stitches. So again, just go through those two as you would one. Yarn over. And there you go. You've purled two together. Okay, so that about wraps it up for how to knit two together and purl two together. Two really awesome decreasing techniques that you're going to want to know, and now you know them. So you can keep on creating. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me in the comments below. I'll be happy to help you out. And you just grab your yarn and you just keep on creating during this confinement time that we're all in. We will get through this. So I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great one. Bye.